How's everybody doing? Frank down at Wise Guys Garage here on a beautiful Sunday morning. Just going to go over some products and just a little thing on what it takes to detail paint. We're going to be working on Casey's 1957 Fairlane 500 that has been sitting for quite a bit of time. And I just wanted to show what it takes to get this kind of quality back to a car that it's, I'm not going to say been mistreated, just left out in a while. So on the table here, I have got a numerous amount of items. I just wanted to go over some of the old school stuff. So back in the day, we had these products here, just your regular waxes, nothing crazy. You had, let me get them in order. So you had a compound, okay? Then you had a little polish, and then you had your wax. Some of these came in paste. I just have these handy to go over, okay? And you put them on with one of these guys, okay? By hand, took a long time, nice little shine, made the car look good, water beat it off great, but didn't last long. After this, somebody came up with this monstrosity. This is a professional orbiter that, if I had to guess, is about 30 pounds.
What year was that, Frank?
God, I don't know. Probably early
80s, maybe?
80s, something like that. But this is what the shops would use. It would do a good job, but really would not attack a lot of the deep swirl scratches and anything like that. And everybody used mom and dad's towels, which back in the day, this is all we had. Great job for making swirls. Okay, old school. From this side over, we've got a lot of stuff that we use here. So I'll go over the beginning. A lot of the beginning of the car, we got to get the paint and move the impurities out of it. To do that, you have to wash the car first. We've had videos on that, so I'm not going to go over that. We have a clay bar system. So you have the actual clay bar, which is like silly putty. This grabs, these are old. I wouldn't use these on anything anymore, but we have them here. They come in different applications. Some are for more severe paint, some are for less, okay? Then you also have these hybrid pads. This is an old one. What this does is about the same as that, but you can't, they work really good, but you can't see how much of the dirt's being removed, but they do work good. And always with them, you gotta kind of keep them lubricated. I always use Meguiar's. I'm not sponsored by Meguiar's, nor do they pay me, but it's just something that I'm very comfortable with. So that's the beginning stage, okay? Then, you have your degreasers where if you got real stubborn spots, you can kind of get at it. But a new product that, just comes out is this thing called Iron Decon, okay? I like Meguiar's, many of the different companies. What this does is after you've cleaned the car, before you're going to hit your clay bar, this will remove any little metal iron that is in the car. When you spray it, give it a couple seconds, it will turn red, and you'll know. Then you wipe it off. Got a good base that the paint is clear, then you proceed to that. Couple products we have over here, real simple. Right here, we have a dual action orbiter, okay? So what this does is you can remove contaminants in the paint, buff, polish, anything like that. But if I was to turn this on, I would be able to grab this and it will stop. Very safe, good for beginning and stuff like that. I use it, I like it. It does a wonderful job. There's nothing wrong with it, but you can see it free spins, okay? That is the luxury of having this. These work really, really good. I have a professional one, which is this Flex 34 RC. They call this the Beast. The big difference with this is it does the same thing as that. This is a direct drive. if you can hear that. So if I were to turn this on and put my hand here, I'd cut fingers off. Okay, this will not stop. But this is so aggressive that you can cut back time. This is really, really good when you have a lot of swirls and deep scratches. And then depending on both products, okay, this gun and this one, they're only as good as the product that you use them with. And I mean, you have...
Frank, let me interrupt real quick. Before you go to the product, I've been asked about 10 times about the orbital versus the direct. Can you explain corners and how you can burn through and what's safe and what's not safe real quick?
That will never stop. So you have to know how to address a corner.
So the direct drive is a constant rotation.
It will never stop. So when you're hitting corners, you have to know that you can't be, and this is getting real technical, which I really don't want to, you can't be coming into a corner on a cut. So the way it rotates is the way it cuts, okay? So if you're coming in on a corner, you want it to be on the backside where it's not cutting.
True.
Okay? On the dual action orbiter that free spins, if you get into a tight corner or you apply too much pressure, okay, I typically like to put a mark somewhere here and it will stop rotating. It will oscillate. The oscillation is kind of like when you're doing this and putting wax on. So
Freeze. Mine just
it
did
really won't cut, okay?
Mine cut off.
It will stay orbiting, not orbiting, but polishing. So it will only polish, it won't cut away. Much, much safer. I like this, especially when a car that it just doesn't need a lot. This, you can go through it and it's really, really safe. I would recommend anybody starting to start here. That you have to learn, okay? So that's kind of the difference between them. And again, both are great, but if you don't use the proper product and the pad, you don't get the results you want. So you have a lot of different pads. These are microfiber top pads. These are used. I have some brand new ones. They come in all different sizes. These are a little bit more aggressive. They cut. Okay, so you have cutting pads here and you have a polisher right here. And you can tell the difference of the fibers. And what these will do is these will help you cut through the scratches a lot quicker. Okay, like I said, these are microfiber. You have hybrid pads, which is what I got right here. I have just purchased these. I haven't tried them yet. I've seen a lot of videos. These apparently work really, really well, okay? And then you have your normal Lakewood pads that I use all the time. They all come in different sizes. You're wondering why they're different colors. Each color represents a type of cut, okay? Typically, your whites are very soft. They're more for polishing, so are your blues. Your orange is a hybrid pad where it will cut and polish, okay? So that's a really good pad. In this hybrid form, there's a gray. Their gray is the most aggressive. In the other world, this is Lake Country, and if you look over here, you can see a plethora of just everything I go through all the time.
Frank, that leads to the biggest question that I get, and without hijacking the meeting, what I would like to do is just take a second and explain this. So I'm the new guy, okay, and I'm nervous. I'm going to do my first. I'm scared I'm going to tear up my paint, but I'm the guy that's been told that everywhere I go and everywhere that I'm brand loyal. So what I want to do is I want to use all Griot. Is it okay if I get away, maybe use a Griot product with a flex pad or something? Is it okay to cross brands? Is it safe to cross brands? That's the #1 question I get. And I see such a variety of name brands. So if you'll just take a minute and explain that, you'll answer 50 questions in about 2 minutes.
So obviously, if you have a Griot product, Griot wants you to buy all their pads and all their stuff, right? As long as you're working if you're trying to cut, so you have to address, what you're doing first. If you're doing some compounding, you're gonna wanna use a compound to remove swirls and scratches, okay? In any company that sells pads, besides Griot, anyone, they have a chart. And it says their color code and their aggressiveness.
And all color codes are not equal with brands. They're all different.
They
correct?
try to keep them similar, but a lot of brands go off the color chart
Right.
and they want their own. So if you're wanting to do an aggressive cut, you're
Right.
going to use a compound with, in this pad, a gray. This is very,
But
very
with
hard.
Griot, it would be an orange.
In a Griot, I don't know the color code.
Right,
You
I do,
would
it's
have-
orange.
You would have to find out
Right.
what their highest.
That's
cut
why I'm
pad is.
asking, so be careful, folks, when you get into this, if you're novice, understand that all brands are different and the color codes might vary a little bit. Don't take a polish pad and try to cut, and don't take a cutting pad and try to polish. Do your research so you don't destroy something. That was my point
Yeah.
there.
So again, and like I said, here's two products that I love, Sonax. I have family members that own a professional detailing place that they work on extremely high-end cars, $500,000 cars, $1 million cars, Bugattis, McLarens, everything like that. This is what he uses, okay? They're all different types. Like this is called the Cut Max. And if you can see down here, it tells you what this product does. It cuts very heavily and it polishes lightly. Whereas if you go to the finish, okay, it doesn't cut a lot, but it polishes.
All right, let me ask one more question without getting off. Real quick, when he's talking about cutting, understand that not all paints are equal. You have a base clear, you have a solo, you have a lacquer, you have a variety of different top coats. You got to understand what you're cutting. If you're cutting a solo, you might cut all the way through the primer base. So understand that before you start digging into some heavy cutting material.
So my recommendation all the time is you try to go as light as possible to remove as much as you can. You can't go backwards. So when I start on a car, I always do a test area, right? And I like the orange pad because it doesn't cut a lot and it's relatively safe. So I would start with this and I would use the Cut Max, okay? And then again, it's a process. You do several passes. You take a light. This is one of your best tools. You take a light or lights that you have and you shine onto the paint. And what you're looking for is, did you accomplish what you wanted? Did you remove the swirls that you wanted? And if they're gone, then you know, okay, now I know how to go and attack the entire car. Typically, you start either on your hoods, your fenders, roof, areas that are flat that get beaten up really good.
I'm not sure if the camera will show it, but you got a haze finish here, which is just legendary, not taking care of the material, versus his test panels, which is a gloss mirror. You can actually see me here. I'm in a fog up here. There's no image. It's just a shadow. But this is an actual image. If I got close and hit it it's almost mirror image. That's the difference once you start and finish. That's what you're looking for.
Again, and getting back to what we were showing to achieve these products, this little tool, it cleans them. So while they're spinning, you come right here. When the pads get gunked up and filled up, you use a little tool, cleans them up, you get a lot more usage, okay? So that's very important. Obviously, one of the most important things are, as you can see here, I've got several different microfiber towels. At the beginning, I said we use these things that scratch. This microfiber towel is a beginning stage. Wipes off a lot of the stuff. These right here are very fine, and these are your finishing. They come in different colors, that's why I have them out here, but they all achieve the same thing. Microfiber towels are very important when you're trying to get to a finished product so you don't add any scratches. After you're done, I will get into another segment about ceramic coating. On this car, we're gonna give it a good polish. It's not gonna have a ceramic coating, but we will address that. But just to go over a couple things that we did today, as you can see, it's not as simple as taking out a polisher attacking it and achieving it. Yes, you can brighten the paint, but if you put a light on it, all the scratches will still be there, okay? So what we're trying to achieve here is to remove marring, or scratches that will not catch on your fingernail.
Let me give a quick, before Frank loses his time here. My third nationals with the KR, he steps in and he starts showing me stuff. Very quickly, after 2 paint corrections, we went from sitting in the parking lot where the sun hits it at different angles. And in the morning, I wouldn't see the scratches, but by the time the judges got there at noon, I'm looking at horsehair swirls that were just putting me in a total panic mode. So Frankie comes in after the third nationals, and we completely eliminate all that by using these step processes, and then he educated me on how to take care of my paint. So understand that the light shows exactly what he's talking about, not just in the shop, but when you park a car, a show car or a car cruise, when that sun moves direction, so do those scratches. So I lost all fear of that once he got my first paint correction done, because no matter where the sun sat, I had a perfect paint job. So that's just at a higher level of what he's doing.
The last thing, when we're talking about products, as I said, these products, they're steps. You have a cutting step, you have a polishing step, and then after that, you have a finish step, okay? Means the car's got to be done 3 times. Something that I bought recently, this is Blackfire 1 step, okay? Depending on the severity of the paint, you can use this 1 step, this pad, and achieve that, and you're done, okay? This is done with this Blackfire. For wanting to achieve, this was a 2-step, this is the 1 step, and you can't tell the difference, even with lighting.
Half the time, same result.
So on a non-car that is a show car, you want perfection, you're gonna have to do cut, polish, and then some type of a sealant. On a nice car that is going to a cruise, and you want a nice shine, get as much as the swirls as you want off, any 1 step, and I'm not sponsored by Blackfire or anything like that, this worked very fine. And again, product, pad, and the steps to get it off is what achieves it. Nothing is magic here. So again, just wanted to go over some of the stuff that we do down here. I know it's a lot. If anybody has any questions or anything like that, you can make a comment, let us know, and we can get a little bit more in depth. If anybody ever wants to come down here and watch what we do, it's boring. Like, it takes a lot of time, but speaking for the guys that done it here, I think that it does a really good job with what we use. So this is Frank from Wise Guys Garage. I hope this was a little bit of a learning process and something intuitive. And thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.